hinges on this very word. Sa katunayan nga, mukhang ang salitang iyan ay magiging sentro ng ating talakayan sa pagdinig na ito. In the end, ladies and gentlemen, what is meant by excessive force? How is it determined? How is it measured? As reported in the news, Pastor Apollo Quiboloy, founder and leader of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, along with 5 others, was charged with sexual abuse and other acts of abuse under Republic Act number 7610 in March this year. They were also charged with qualified human trafficking under Republic Act number 9208. Last April, the warrant of arrest was issued against Pastor Quiboloy and the 5 other individuals. Unfortunately, authorities were unable to serve the warrant against the pastor. Apparently, he could not be found. This is what now brings us to the June 10, 2024 incident. The PNP conducted an operation simultaneously in 3 locations within Davao City in order to serve the warrant against Pastor Quiboloy. Let us watch this video. Paki-play ng video.
Umulit lang yata, Pangulo.
Parang pabalik-balik. Iba na yan.
Ito na, iba na to. Ito na. Ito na. Yan na.
Okay na yun? Yun lang? Okay, thank you. Ngayon, balikan natin yung ating unang tanong. Ano nga ba ang ibig sabihin ng salitang excessive? Paano ba natin masasabi na sumubra ang PNP sa ginamit nilang puwersa? On one hand, the PNP categorically states that it was a lawful operation. According to them, it was done in proper coordination with local officials na sinunod lamang nila ang kanilang operational procedures manual. At wala silang ginawang hindi naaayon at ipinahihintulot ng batas. Ang tanging intensyon nila ay ang maisilbi ang warrant of arrest. Bilang isang dating pulis, gusto kong sabihin ko sa PNP, naiintindihan ko kayo. However, there are complaints from the members of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ that the PNP's use of force was allegedly excessive. Ang nasabing operasyon umano ay overkill. Ayon sa mga report, hindi raw bababa sa 3 miyembro ang nasaktan sa operasyon. One woman even claimed that she was kicked in the face by a military boot. As a person who has dedicated most of his life to serve and protect our citizens, I would also be appalled, shocked, even that it should reach a point where others get injured. Sasabihin ko rin sa QOGC, naiintindihan ko kayo. In this hearing, I do not wish to exceed what is necessary to shed light on the truth. Hindi natin gagawin ang hindi saklaw ng ating mandato. We cannot afford to be excessive, especially not in the performance of our duties. Ang pangunahing isyu na nais natin maresolba sa pagdinig na ito ay nagkaroon nga ba ng pagmamalabis ang PNP sa pagpatupad sa inatas ng kanilang tungkulin na mag-serve ng arrest warrant ni Pastor Apollo Kibuloy. Before we begin our discussion, I would like to yield the floor to Senator Robin Hood Padilla for his opening statement. Thank you.
Maraming salamat po sa aming idolo, Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Bismillahi wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulillahi. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Pagbati po ng kapayapaan sa inyong lahat. Sa tagapangulo po ng Senate Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, Senador Ronald Bato de la Rosa, sa mga iginagalang po nating kasamahan na narito ngayon, sa mga panauhin po, magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat, lalo na po sa ating mga namumuno sa PNP, sir, at sa lahat po ng inyong mga kasama, sa lahat po ng nasa gobyerno, sa lahat po ng nasa Napolcom, sa lahat po ng nasa Kingdom. Isang magandang umaga po. Ako po ay nagpapasalamat din sa miyembro ng media. Sa lahat po ng naririto, bagamat maulan po ngayong umaga, isang mainit na pagbati po sa inyong lahat. Tayo po ay magkakapiling ngayong araw na ito sa bisa po ng Resolusyon 1051 na inihain ng inyong lingkod tungkol po sa ulat ng mga naging paglabag ng ating pong mahal na kapulisan sa operation na isinagawa noong ika-10 ng Hunyo sa premises po ng Kingdom of Jesus Christ sa Davao City. Ito po ay lugar ng mga taong sumasamba. Alam naman po natin na ang operasyon ay para ihatid ang warrant of arrest mula po sa Davao Regional Trial Court, Branch 12 at Pasig Regional Trial Court, Branch 159, laban po kay Pastor Apollo Kibuloy at 5 pang individual. Subalit, nais po nating bigyang linaw at sa huli, mabigyan ng karampatang aksyon, Sir, human rights, at solusyon ang mga sinasabing excessive force, allegedly, na hindi naman sana kinakailangan sa parte ng ating pong mahal na kapulisan. Nakarating po sa atin na may mga nasaktan na mga misyonaryo, mga taong Diyos po, sa nangyaring tensyon sa loob ng compound. Hindi po natin makalimutan na nasa pulisiya po ng ating mahal na PNP ang pag-comply sa international human rights standards and practices sa pagsasagawa po ng mga police operations. Sa puntong ito, ay didinggin po natin ang bawat panig na kapiling natin ngayong araw na ito. Sa parte naman po ni Senador Bato, na amin pong idolo, ay sisikapin po namin ang pagsigurong paglinaw sa mayroong, alam niyo po, ang nakakalungkot. Ako din po kasi ang chairman ng komite ng mass media and public information. Sobra na po ang paglaganap ng fake news sa ating bansa. Ang nakakalungkot po, ang pinakikinggan pa ng ating mga kababayan minsan ay yung mga vlogger na hindi po natin alam kung saan nanggaling ng lupalop ng Pilipinas ang kanilang mga dunong, ang kanilang mga kagalingan. Kung makabana sa mga taong gobyerno, hindi na po natin maintindihan at gumagawa pa ng mga peke, ginagamit ang mga AI. Alam niyo po, ito pong araw na ito, gusto ko pong malinaw sa dalawang panig na hindi po kami nakaupo dito ni Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa bilang mga kaalyado ng dating Pangulong Rodrigo Roa Duterte o kami po ay number 1 na sumusuporta kay Vice President Inday Sara Duterte. Nandito po kami bilang mga senador, independente. Pag-uusapan po natin ang mga karapatan ng ating mga kababayan na nasa konstitusyon. Kami po ay mga senador ng bayan upang siguraduhin po na ang konstitusyon ay walang pinipili. Ibig pong sabihin, ang lahat ay may boses. Ang lahat, kailangan naririnig natin ang dalawang panig. Dahil yan po ang esensya ng ating demokrasya. Ang lahat ay may boses. Hindi po pwede na isa lang po ang naririnig natin, lalo na sa 4 na sulok ng Senado. Ang Senado po ay boses ng bayan. Ang mga nandito po ay hinalal ng taong bayan upang magbigay ng patas na pagkilala sa bawat karapatan ng bawat tao. Ganun din po ang pagkilala natin sa serbisyo naman po ng ating kapulisan. Hindi po natin nakakalimutan na ang kanilang kabayanihan at yan po ay sinasaladuhan natin. Ngunit sa katapus-tapusan po ng usapang ito, huwag po natin kalilimutan na meron tayong saligang batas na nagbibigay proteksyon sa lahat, maging sibilyan, maging militar, maging pulis. Basta Pilipino, iyaan po tayo sa harap ng saligang batas, sa harap ng Diyos at sa harap ng batas ng tao, tayo po ay pantay-pantay. Yun lamang po, maraming salamat po ang aking pong Ginoong Pangulo. Maraming salamat.
Maraming salamat, Senator Robin Hood Padilla. As we begin this investigation in aid of legislation, may I request Comsec Asierto to administer the oath of all resource persons present for today's hearing.
Thank you, sir. May we request the guests to please stand up and raise their right hands. Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth in this public hearing and investigation? Thank you very much. Please take your seats.
Thank you, Comsec. For orderly conduct of today's hearing, we shall structure the discussion as follows. Number 1, presentation of the PNP. Of course, it is going to be preceded by the opening statement of the Chief of the Philippine National Police, because he asked me earlier to allow him to leave after his opening statement because of some pressing matters doon sa Region 3. Number 2, presentation of the KOJC. Number 3, NBI. Number 4, DOJ. Number 5, Commission on Human Rights. Number 6, Davao City LGU. Meron bang Davao City LGU? Nandito? Wala. And other resource person. So from here, I would like to give the floor to the PNP, to the Chief of the PNP for his opening statement.
Chairman, sir. Can I be allowed to read my opening statement?
Yes, go ahead. You have the floor.
Thank you, Chairman, sir. Honorable Chairperson, Senator Ronaldo Bato de la Rosa, Senator Robin Hood Padilla of the Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, fellow public servants, and other guests. Magandang umaga po sa inyo lahat. I'm here today to address the concerns raised regarding the police operation conducted by the Philippine National Police within the premises of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ or what we call KOJC, on June 10, 2024. A month after the RTC NCR Judicial Region Branch 159, Pasig City, issued order finding probable cause against the following persons. This operation was not just a routine action, it was a critical mission to execute a lawful warrant of arrest against the fugitives of the law, Apollo Caboloy and 5 others, in connection with non-bailable offenses. Sa Tagalog po natin, walang piyansa of child abuse and qualified trafficking. These actions were anchored on verified information indicating fugitive Caboloy's frequent presence in the area, a matter we could not ignore. Let me be clear, this police operation was carried out with strict adherence to the PNP operational procedures. Our guiding principle was to uphold human rights while executing our duties with the highest standards of professionalism and respect of the law. Prior to the execution, the PNP engaged with local officials to ensure a peaceful and orderly police operation and minimize any potential disruptions to the community. During the police operation, we deployed an appropriate number of personnel and utilized extensive resources for critical reasons. Number one, the primary subject of the warrant posed a high threat due to his considerable influence and extensive network, which significantly complicated our efforts to apprehend him. Second, intelligence report indicated the subject may employ armed civilian supporters to evade arrest, necessitating the deployment of the Special Action Force to thwart any potential threat. Remember, fugitive Caboloy himself declared, and I quote, "Hindi ako pahuhuli ng buhay," and unquote, a clear indication of his defiance. Fugitive Caboloy's blatant disregard of the law and the mockery of the judicial process presented a formidable challenge to our security forces and the integrity of our criminal justice system. The effective execution of the operation was crucial to prevent negative international repercussions and to uphold our commitment to justice and security. For the information of this honorable committee, on the day of the operation, despite facing unprovoked resistance from KOJC followers, our personnel exercised remarkable self-restraint and maximum tolerance throughout the operation to avoid tension and prevent any untoward incident. They remained calm and disciplined to escalate the already tense situation. Even when faced with aggression, being dosed with water, and sustaining injuries, our police officers did not retaliate or resort to excessive force. It will be shown later how our police personnel were water cannon. Yet, despite adhering to police protocols, allegations of excessive force have emerged. It is incumbent upon us to address these concerns with transparency and accountability. In response, I immediately directed our Internal Affairs Service to conduct a thorough and impartial investigation to determine whether or not any operational lapses were committed during the police operation. Our objective is to uncover the truth and to hold accountable any individuals who may have exceeded their authority. This investigation is being conducted with utmost integrity and independence, free from any undue influence or interference. As a result of the investigation, we have administratively relieved 15 PNP personnel, including 3 police commission officers and 12 police non-commissioned officers. Let me clarify, these officers were relieved not for abuses, but for their failure to arrest the fugitives of the law, Caboloy and his co-accused. To absolutely clear, the police operation is aimed at executing warrants of arrest for individuals accused of serious offenses. Their status as fugitive is indisputable. Instead of cooperating with law enforcement officers, members of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ disgracefully choose to use women and children as human shields, obstructing and delaying the lawful actions of the police. Armed with bolos and other bladed weapons, male members of this group engage in violent confrontations with police officers. As a result, 6 individuals and 2 minors were taken to the police station but were released the same day for humanitarian reason. Criminal cases for violation of PD 1829 or obstruction of justice have been filed against them through regular filing. In the interest of transparency and accountability, the PNP is open to any investigation if only to ferret out the truth. We hope that the focus of the investigation will squarely rest on the action and practices of some officers and members of the KOJC, not on the Philippine National Police. The allegations against fugitive Kibuloy and his associates are serious and cannot be ignored. The PNP is simply fulfilling its duty to uphold the law and protect the community. The PNP will relentlessly pursue its mission within the bounds of law. We are committed to learning from this incident to prevent its reoccurrence and further strengthen our operational strategies and procedures. In closing, the Philippine National Police remains steadfast in its commitment to uphold the rule of law and to protect the rights of all individuals. Our presence here today is a testament to our highest respect for the Senate and its vital oversight function. Rest assured, we will fully cooperate with this investigation in aid of legislation. Thank you for your attention and for the opportunity to address this team body. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, General Marvel. Before the opening statement of Senator Bongo, I would like to yield the floor to Senator Robin Hood Padilla. I think you have some questions to the CPNP.
Yes,
before
sir.
he leaves.
Opo, mahal na tagapangulo. Pwede po bang...
I will leave with the indulgence of Senator Bongo. Are you okay? May opening statement mo. Go ahead, Senator Robin Hood Padilla.
Opo, akin lang pong babatiin ng ating idolo, ang taong bisyo, ang magserbisyo, Senator Bongo. Magandang umaga po. Opo. Pwede po ba makapagtanong sa ating pong PNP Chief? Opo.
Yes, you have the floor, Your Honor.
Salamat po. Sir, marami pong, ako po ay tagapangulo din po ng Komite ng Public Information at Mass Media. Ako po ay tunay na hirap na sa pagsangga sa mga fake news. Ako naman po ay nagpapasalamat sa pamunuan ng PNP at laging maliwanag naman po ang inyong pagbibigay ng impormasyon. Nagkakataon lamang po na imbis yung paliwanag ninyo ang naririnig, mga vlogger na hindi natin maintindihan. Ngayon po sana magamit po natin ang pagdinig na ito upang linawin lang po ang isang bagay. Medyo hindi po ito, ako po nagpapasalamat po ako sa inyong statement kanina patungkol po dito. Ito lamang po pa-side lang pong tanong at ito naman po nasa inyo po bilang resource speaker po namin, nasa inyo po kung gusto niyo pong sagutin o hindi. Narinig ko na rin naman po at nabasa ko na rin po yung inyong statement na ayaw niyong magsalita. Pero baka po dito po ngayon, mas maganda maging maliwanag po sa ating mga kababayan. Pero kung ano man po kung gusto niyo pong sagutin o hindi, wala pong problema. Opo, hindi po namin yung pepersonalin. Karapatan niyo po yun. Kaya lang po, baka lang magamit natin itong pagdinig na ito para malinaw po. No? Tinatanong po talaga ng taong bayan na hindi lamang po ang masasabi nating, alam nyo naman, hati ang ating bayan. Pero lahat nagtatanong dito, ano po ba ang katotohanan? Meron po ba talagang political pressure para tanggalin ang security ng ating Vice President? Nasa inyo po yan, sir. Kung gusto nyo pong sagutin o hindi.
You will respond, CPNP?
Thank you, our Senator. That's yun po yung sinabi niyo. Wala pong political pressure. It's ang ginagawa po natin is really to rationalize po yung deployment ng PNP natin. And we have to make sure, no po, sabi po nila, alam mo, sir, ang nangyari po, not only the Vice President na nagalit po sa atin, nagkalit po na it's a political. No, not even. Marami po kami tinanggalan. Even yung mga classmate ko, ng mga general, sabi ko, it's a time na talagang we have to rationalize. And in fact, we have already made yung sa policies natin na kung may mga threat, yung mga, when they retire kasi may mga threat, it's only about 6 months. And afterwards, they can ask kung meron po talaga threat. And we have to make sure, no, ang deployment po, we have to refrain po yung kasi yung term po natin, VIP, ang security. No, there's no term as VIP. Remember, this is a police unit sa professional police po. They are all graduates and di po kami kagaya dati na graduate po so ang mga police po natin. And we want to make sure that they are being deployed properly. Tinanggal po natin yan because ang gusto po natin, we have to professionalize po yung PSPG and make sure na dalawa po yung criteria. High threat, high security threat, and medium security threat, and no threat at all. We want to make sure that there is already a perceived threat. And there's a difference between a perceived threat and an actual threat. Dati kasi, VIP ang tawag natin, that's a perceived threat. Kaya nga sinasabi po natin, and we have to rationalize, and we have to change our policies regarding po dun sa deployment ng tao. Kasi ang sasabi ko nga, we need more people on the ground. Marami po kami talagang kulang, and to be honest, sir, talagang ang gusto po natin, talagang ibaba yung mga tao natin. We're very strict police procedures natin. Marami po tayong kinasuhan na moonlighting ng police natin. It all started in Alabang when we see two staff personnel na nandun po being used as security. And dahil po nga doon, bakit nangyayari doon? Well, we have to rationalize our people. We have to account them. We want to make sure. And with regard po doon sa iba, hindi lang lahat po, tinanggalan po natin because we don't see any threat sa mga bantao. At sabi ko nga, kung meron pong reason, ibibigay po natin. Second,
But in the case of the Vice President, do you think may threat sa kanya o wala?
sir, ang wala po siyang threat. Wala po kami nakita. He's being loved by our people. Ang sasabi ko lang, second, ang security po ng ating Vice President
Are you sure with his strong stand against the
NPA.
CPP, NPA, wala siyang threat sa buhay niya?
Sir, ang may hawak po ng security po ng ating Vice President is the Presidential Security Command. It was issued on July 9. The security of the President and the Vice President lies on the Presidential Security Command. And we will not stop po if the General Morales from the PSC asks our help to ask for more personnel, then we will give po. And the one who's making the threat assessment is not anymore. It's the Presidential Security Command po.
Well, alam mo, ilan bang iniwan mo doon na security kay BP?
May 31 po po.
31.
Opo.
Is the 31 remaining security of her own choice or ikaw ang pumili?
No sir, hindi naman po kami because mayroon pong commander po sa kanya and it's being headed by a full colonel noong sing 31 na naiiwan po. And it's up to him, up to her po yung babae po natin to really choose yung mga tao natin. Hindi ko po alam yung details. What will happen is, sabi ko, you have to rationalize, you just need the numbers so we can deploy them dun sa mga tao sa ground.
Okay. In behalf of the Vice President and in behalf of the Filipino people who want that our Vice President is properly secured and protected, can I ask you, for the record, that yung iniwan mo na 31, pwede ba nabigyan mo ng laya yung ating Vice President kung sino from sa kanyang mga former security ang pwedeng iiwan mo? Kasi ang reklamo nga niya, may iniwan ka nga pero hindi niya kilala, hindi siya komportable. Baka pwede yung mga security niya na from Davao na matagal na sa kanila, nakilala niya, komportable siya, baka pwedeng yun na ang ibigay natin. Kasi ang nangyari kasi, yung mga pulis na yun, kilala ko yun, mga tao ko yung mga pulis na yun. Andito ngayon, inasign mo dito sa Krami or sa Region 4 ba yun? If we are for localization, para effective ang ating kapulisan sa kanilang trabaho, baka pwedeng yung taga Davao na lang ilagay mo doon. I'm just appealing to you. I am not questioning your wisdom. Ako, just treat me as an ordinary Pilipino na gusto talagang masecure yung ating pangalawang Pangulo. Baka pwede naman na papiliin mo siya kung sino yung gusto niyang maiwan doon. Ilan ang tinanggal mo, Marvin? 75. Yung 75 na tinanggal mo, baka pwedeng, tapos may iwan ka na 31.
Sir, Chairman, can I make it clear first? Ang naiwan po sa kanya is 358 AFP personnel. And sabi ko nga, ang 106
Wala na po doon sa... Wala tayo doon sa AFP. We are just talking about PNP. Yung PNP na pag-usapan din, ang PNP yung close sa kanya. Dahil dati siya mayor at yung mga local police ng Davao, yan yung dinala niya doon na security. Yun lang pag-usapan natin, yung local, yung police lang. Kung yung 31 na yun na iniwan mo, pwede ba na pagbigyan natin ang pangalawang Pangulo na pumili siya kung sinong gusto niya maritin doon na 31? Wala problema. Kahit na hindi mo na ibalik yung 75 na tinanggal mo, okay na yun. Gamitin natin yun sa police visibility. Ako mismo, as former chief PNP, I am with you when you say na you need people on the ground. Alam mo, pareho tayo. Ang tagal na natin gusto yung mga tao na yan na matanggal sa mga VIP security dahil para magamit natin. Pareho tayo ng paningin. Pero, yun lang, ako, bilang isang Pilipino na gustong ma-secure ang ating pangalawang Pangulo, pwede ba na yung 31 na yun, bigyan mo siya ng laya na pumili na yung tinanggal mo, na dinala mo dito sa Region 4 na mga taga Davao, baka pwede yun nilagay mo para naman may peace of mind siya na sigurado siya na yung security niya ay talagang kanya. Yun lang, pag-iusap ko lang sa iyo. I'm not directing you as the chairman of the Senate Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs. This is my personal appeal to you, being a Filipino. Kasi ayaw ko talaga na may mangyari sa ating pangalawang Pangulo. Pag yan ay naambos ng NPA at nagsibagtakbuhan yung mga security niya, nakakaya tayo. Pero kung yung ibalik mo yung mga taga Davao na talagang makipagpatayan sa kanya, yung mga polis na yun na local, you and me can sleep properly at night na wala mangyayari sa ating pangalawang Pangulo. That's my assurance to you. Kung ibalik mo yun. Kaya ako nakiusap sa iyo. Yun lang. Appeal to you. Na pwede ibalik yung mga taga Davao. Kahit na yung 31 lang. Yung 31 na sinabi mo iniwan, palitan mo yun ng mga trusted niya. Nakilala niya. Yun lang. Pakiusap ko sa iyo.
If I may, Mr. Chair, no. Itong 31 na naiwan na CPNP, choice to ng Vice Presidente o kayo na po ang pumili dito? Bago na po ba sila?
Chairman, hindi ko kasi nakita. It's only the 106 the personnel na talaga po kay PP in addition dun sa 358 na AFP. Ang 106 yun, I really hindi po sila kilala. Ang sinasabi ko lang, we have to reduce our personnel. Based dun sa recommendation po ng PSPG Commander, I have to talk to these people and talk to the Chief of Staff of the VP kung tama po yung numbers, no? But if you ask me for the details, I don't know these people, hindi ko po sila kilala kung sino po naiwan. Ang sinasabi ko lang, this is inadequate na 31 po ang ibigay namin. But kung sinasabi niyo po, it will help, then let it be po. Hindi mo po kami nag-argumentative with regard po sa security. If it will help, if we can add, it really depends on the VP, of course. Yung head po ng security niya, yung PSC po, si General Morales, then let it be po.
Okay, check naman si PNP kung itong mga naiwan, choice ba niya? Tama yung sinabi ni Chairman Bato. Choice niya ito o kayo ang pumalit bago na po itong to?
Our chairperson, hindi ko po, number one, I don't have yung kilala po. Ang sinasabi ko lang, out of the 106, kasi I assume that yung tao niya po, yung 106 na yun. Then, ang sinasabi ko, I have to reduce based dun sa recommendation natin na wala po siyang threat. Kasi, ang sabi ko nga, ang PNP is just an augmentation of the security being given by the Presidential Security Command. Kung sinasabi po natin na makakatulong po, po, and we will help in securing the Vice President po.
Wala na bang naka-deploy ngayon na PSPG sa mga negosyante lang?
Ang sinasabi ko, sir, may mga high threat po at pinatanggal ko po. If you will look at the numbers, pinatanggal po lahat.
Basta ako, General Marvel, high security threat pa rin ng ating pangalawang Pangulo. You may question my opinion, but that's my own opinion. I know her very well. Kailangan talaga natin i-secure. So, yun lang pag-iusap ko. Kahit na hindi mo na ibalik yung design number na tinanggal mo, palitan mo lang ibalik mo lang yung mga taga Davao na palagay ang kalooban niya, at tanggalin mo na lang yung hindi niya kilala na yung naiwan sa 31. I know, it's no longer your job dahil alam ko as Chief PNP, you will deal on policy statements na lang doon sa mga commanders mo on the ground. Hindi ka nagsasabi ko, ito tanggalin mo, ito iiwan mo. That's not your job anymore. Pero ito lang, I am just appealing to you, pero narating ko lang sa'yo. Kung pwede, balik mo. Can I get your commitment?
Of course, our chairperson.
Thank you very much. Salamat. Senator Robinson Padilla, General Senator Bongo.
Ako, mahal na tagapangulo, wala na po akong masasabi. Usapan na po yan ng isang dating PNP chief at ngayon ay kasalukuyan. Mahirap na pong pumasok dyan. Siguro po ang ating kaibigan.
Thank you, Senator Robinson Padilla. Gusto mo pa marinig? Pakinggan mo muna yung statement ni Senator Bongo before I will let you leave. At saka, go ahead, Senator Bongo. Your
Salamat,
statement.
Mr. Chair. Let me remind the PNP that in its operational procedures, only necessary and reasonable force should be used to accomplish the task of enforcing the law and maintaining peace and order. The operational manual of the PNP also states that the use of weapons are only in lethal approach and as a last resort if the suspect is armed and dangerous, or if there is unlawful aggression or intention to cause severe injury, serious bodily harm, or death to police officers and other people. At so mga nakarang araw po, may reports po nakarating na meron po mga naka-deploy na SWAT team, no? PNP SWAT team in full combat gear. Naka-full combat gear sila sa palibot ng central compound ng Kingdom of Jesus Christ sa Davao City. Nagdudulot po ito ng panic. Siyempre, lalo-lalo na po dun sa mga bata, sa mga estudyante, nagkaka-trauma po sila. As Vice Chairman po ng Committee on Public Order, hindi ba ang motto ng PNP is to protect and to serve? Serve who? Yun po ang mga katanungan natin. Kawawa naman.
Not to scare.
Not to scare po. Alam nyo naman, sir, alam nyo, lahat po yan. Panahon ni dating Pangulong Duterte, full support kami sa police, lalo-lalo na po in line of duty. Ikipagpatayan po kami sa inyo. Isa po sa ating isinulong nun, doblehin, taasan ang sweldo ng ating police uniform personnel. We work with various executive agencies and the entire Congress na may sa katuparan ng pangakong binitawan. At dahil ako mismo, ako na utusan ni dating Pangulong Duterte noon na ipaglaban po ang uniform personnel natin. At hanggang ngayon, full support naman po kami sa inyo. Mahal na mahal po namin ang Philippine National Police, ang Armed Forces, ang uniform personnel. Atin lang po dito, sana po'y maging non-partisan kayo. Gawin nyo lang po ang inyong trabaho. Protektahan ang karapatan ng Pilipino. And every operation should be conducted within the bounds of law. Kawawa naman po yung mga police na no choice kundi sumunod lang po sa utos sa taas. Alam ko mas maraming police ang professional at magagaling. Alam niyo po yun. Dito lang kami to support the police. Pero sana po'y maging maayos, maging patas at hindi maapektuhan lalo-lalo na yung mga bata. Yung mga bata na natotrauma po po. Wala naman sigurong hindi naman po siguro terorista ang hinahanap ninyo. Yun lang po. Maraming salamat, Mr. Chair. Pinapalalahanan ko lang. Gawin nyo lang po yung tama. Salamat po.
Thank you, Your Honor, Senator Bongo. Alam ko how you love the PNP. Isa ka sa nagsumikap talaga na magiging doble ang sweldo ng PNP yung panahon ni Pangulong Duterte. Kaya maraming salamat. Yung tanong mo ganyang issue about yung mga naka-SWAT uniform na nakatayo na parang na-terrorize yung mga tao doon sa malapit sa Kingdom of Jesus Christ. Andito si RD, Pero 11, General Torre, can you enlighten us what happened? Bakit nagkaganon? Maraming SWAT doon na nakaitim at pilit kinakausap ng mga tao, ayaw sumagot. Nakatakot ang mukha, ayaw daw, wala daw nameplate. hindi daw nagpakilala kung sino sila. So, the more na intimidated ang tao sa presensya ng pulis na gano'n, ayaw mo na sila kausapin. Dapat friendly sila sa mga kababayan natin pag tinatanong.
Sir,
Yeah, go ahead, you have the floor.
Thank you, sir. Good morning, sir. I take responsibility for the deployment of those personnel, sir. Actually, sir, hindi yan eksaktong kaharap, sir. Ang mga SWAT na yan, sir, tsaka sa gabi na, sir, na ginagawa yan. Because, kung titingnan natin, sir, there is a wanted person in the premises of the compound. Nakita natin noong June 10, in-attempt nating i-serve ang warrant at hindi nga, sir, napasok talaga, sir, dahil talagang napakalagay ng resistance. And we're just very conscientious na bawasan na ang possibility na makatakas, sir. So, with the force that we saw last June 10, hindi sir malayo na talagang puwersa rin ang pwedeng gamitin dahil may resources nga naman talaga. In the past few weeks, sir, in these past few days, last week, napakaraming lumabas na mga trucks, na container vans, buses, na hindi na natin check, sir, dahil sa kakulangan natin puwersa. So,
Ay, alam mo, Nick, General Torre, we are not questioning your mandate.
Yes.
Mandato niyo yan.
yes,
Kahit na masama sa kalooban ng mga kababayan natin na huliin si Pastor Kibuloy, but meron siya existing warrant of arrest.
Yes.
And that is your job as law enforcement officer. Gawin talaga niyo yan.
Yes.
Diba? Ang akin lang, yung matakot yung mga taga-Davao, ano ito? Minarselo na ang Davao. Alam mo na yung tawag yan, yung sabi ni Senator Bernal Padilla,
Mga vlogger, oo.
Vloggeran na kahit ano siya sabi na nilusot ng Davao ng mga SWAT na nakaitim na walang pangalan, nakatakip ang mukha, ayaw magpakilala, tinatanong ng media kung sino sila, anong ginagawa, ayaw kausapin yung mga tao. Parang na-terrorize ang tao. Alam mo, nung nakita ko Nick, nakita ko yung uniform nila, tinignan ko talaga
Nakatakip
sa
lahat, oh.
media yung sa cellphone yung kanilang
Lahat. Oh.
nung nakita ko na RNF B11, gusto ko sabihin sa mga tao na no cause for panic, mga tao natin yan. Mga local police natin yan. Kasi sinasabi nila, RNF ba talaga yun? O mga galing sa ibang lugar ng police?
RFP, sir, galing sa
RNF B11.
RSP, sir.
Kaya nga sabi ko, sana mga kababayan ko sa Davao, huwag kayong magpanik. Mga tao natin, mga pulis natin yan. Baka mamaya team leader yan, yung alam mo pa, na si Lieutenant Rack de la Rosa na official lang RMFP. Kaya huwag kayong matakot, pero it is incumbent on your part na dapat bigyan ninyo ng advice yung mga pulis natin na kahit na nagpe-perform sila na kailang mandato, maintain to be friendly sa mga tao natin. Tinatanong sila ng media, ayaw magsagot. Sir, kung lang ito amin, yung police visibility na ito. Wala ba kami karapatan duty namin ito na mag-provide ng police visibility. Trabaho namin ito. Pwede naman lang sabihin gano'n para huwag matakot ng mga tao. Pero hindi nagsasalita. Walang mga nameplate. Ang mga mukha naka-cover. Kaya ang tao na intimidate. So dapat you should be there to to normalize the situation. Huwag natin takutin yung tao.
Pacify dapat.
Pacify ka.
Can I qualify some of the things?
Yeah, go ahead.
Sir, when we say media, sir, sana sir kung mainstream, pero sa ngayon kasi sir, focus nun talaga sir naman, sa Manila naman talaga sir ang gumagawa ng focus nun sir sa ganong situation. So we don't want to fight with the media in general sir, Pero kitang-kita naman natin sir na ang may focus lang sir at may interest lang talaga na hinahanapan ng detail order, hinahanapan ng mission order, hinahanapan pa ng lisensya sir ang mga baril namin sir eh. So, sa Manila naman sir na personnel at yung mga taga-KOGC. I think sir, it is already out of bounds sa part nila because it is already sir in the public road. At hindi lang naman sila sir ang tina-checkpoint doon. Kitang-kita naman sir, lahat sir may checkpoint tayong lahat ng checkpoint natin sir walang pinipili. Yan na naman sir.
Mr. Chair,
Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Sino
sorry po if may I say something po?
okay, go ahead.
Pasensya na po, Mr.
Yes,
Chair,
go ahead.
hindi ko po na-recognize.
Yeah.
Kasi
But, meron kayong opening statement
Ah, yes,
mamaya, di ba?
okay.
Sino
Oo.
mag-read? Si
Kailangan kasi makaalis yan.
Okay, magpaalis na para baka concern niya kay Chief NP. Masagot niya.
General Marvin po sa...
Yes, go ahead.
Sana makinig muna si General Marvin, sir.
Ha?
Sana makinig muna.
Sir, wag mo na
Hindi, ganito.
Wag mo na umalis, sir.
Ganito,
Huwag mo na siya umalis.
ganito.
Pwede lang.
Nagpaalam siya sa akin dahil may mga tao siya may disgrasya, mayroong misencounter doon sa kung kailangan niya puntahan. Kaya whatever matatakil natin dito, ipalo up mo sa kuan ha para masagot mo. Then ikaw acting DO, you supply the answers. Ito lahat yung isasabihin nila. Pero itong particular na issue na ito, huwag ka muna umalis. Go ahead, sino ito magsalita?
Sir, okay.
Ma'am Eleanor Cardona, you have the floor. Ma'am.
Yes, kung
Yes.
okay na po, ano ko yung open.
Ganito ha. The committee rules. You cannot ask your question directly to General Marbil. You course it through me, and ako magsatanong sa kanya. Okay? Yeah, go ahead.
Yes, sir,
Go
thank
ahead.
you so much. Mr. Chair, I will be first reading the statement of our KOJC administrator, who is also invited but he cannot come. The
Sino?
administrator of KOJC, who is former President Rodrigo Roa Duterte.
Go ahead. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. This is a statement of former President Rodrigo Duterte dated June 30, 2024, and I read, "To members of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ and to all citizens who uphold the rule of law, June 10, 2024 will go down as a day of infamy. Heavily armed battalions of the Philippine National Police, Special Action Force, and the Criminal Investigation and Detection Group raided various church compounds in Barangay Buhangin and Tamayon, Davao City, Glory Mountain and Cusans Baptismal Resort, Samal Island, and the Kitbog Compound, Malungon, Sarangani Province, ostensibly in a coordinated effort to serve warrants of arrest on Pastor Apollo Quiboloy. Except for the over-publicized arrest warrant, the raiders did not present any search warrant in all of the church properties raided by the law enforcement agencies. This is a clear violation of the law. It has an overkill in any language. This act cannot go unpunished. While I am saddened to do this, given my personal and in the past official support for the police and the armed forces of the Philippines, my duties as administrator of church properties demand that I take legal and appropriate action. In line with this, I have ordered not only the preparation of affidavits of all members aggrieved and traumatized by the said unfortunate incident, but also an inventory of church properties destroyed as a consequence. It is incumbent not only upon the church but also upon officers of the law to take appropriate action, considering that the said trespass was beamed by social media all over the world and thus sent the wrong signal that this country has become a police state with no respect for the law and religious institutions. While the damage has been done, the opportunity is there to rectify the errors brought about by the trampling of basic rights in the conduct of the alleged raid by granting the reliefs and legal remedies provided by law. It is unfortunate that the obsession of this administration to demonize Pastor Quiboloy even before he could be convicted by a court of law is a clear maneuver to divert attention from the deepening crisis spawned by corruption, incompetence, and abuse of authority. Again, it is with heavy heart that I am constrained to take action against all those responsible for the coordinated but illegal raid. Notwithstanding my personal convictions, the law must be upheld. Let this be a warning and a lesson for all those who follow and implement illegal and unlawful orders, that there are grave consequences for blind obedience. Rodrigo Roa Duterte. Thank you, sir.
Right.
At this time, Sir
Thank you, ma'am. Yes.
I have the permission
Continue.
once again
Yeah.
to, of course, the Honorable Chairperson of the Committee on Public Order and Dangerous Drugs, Honorable Senator Bato de la Rosa, Senator Robin Hood Padilla. Maraming salamat po at pinagkaloob po itong pagkakataon. And also Senator Christopher Bongo. At sa lahat po na nandito ngayon in this room, sa lahat ng NBI, DOJ, Apolcom, SWD, and of course the PNP, sa CHR, and all those that are here. Indeed, we're so thankful that we were given the chance to air our sentiments. On behalf of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, let me just say this. As I have read the statement of former President Rodrigo Duterte, June 10 truly is a day of infamy for us. Because it is a day that will go down in the history of this country. That day, not only one, not two, not even three, but 4 of our religious compounds, our sacred grounds, our worship places, simultaneously were brutally attacked, assaulted, not by terrorists, but sadly, by the state-ordered or sanctioned law enforcers coming from the Philippine National Police, the CIDG, and the Special Action Force of the PNP is supposed to be the elite forces that is against terrorism. They were all in full battle gear that day. And it was done. Maybe later on we will be showing the footages of what really transpired. At sino ba yung inatake nila? They attacked the religious compounds of the Kingdom of Jesus Christ. And who were there? We were innocent civilians. Yes, there were children. There were mothers. There were grandparents, male and female, because it is our home. Tinitirhan namin yun. It is our compound. We have lived there for almost 40 years. Kaya doon kami nakatira. And as you all know, some of you have been in our compounds. And if you know us, for 40 years that Pastor has been preaching, we're innocent civilians, disciplined, law-abiding, God-fearing. We are volunteers, missionaries. We have given our lives to serve God and the country. And we have never wronged anyone. We have been upholding the law because that is what our beloved pastor has taught us. And on that day, we never expected that a horrifying incident such as that would ever happen. Why? Because they already served warrant of arrest several times. If I may read, they have already served it on April 3 in the central headquarters and in Samal, and April 4 in Prayer Mountain and the Glory Mountain, and April 10 in the central headquarters in Prayer Mountain, the Glory Mountain, and May 3 in Prayer Mountain and Glory Mountain, and we have always entertained and let them in peacefully. We didn't have any resistance, but kami magre-resist. Yun nga lang ang tanong dito sa committee hearing na ito, sa pagdidinig. Tinatanong natin kung excessive ba yung June 10. Kasi, ang pinuntahan naman nila, religious compounds, hindi naman lair ng mga kriminal. At ang sino hinahanap nila, para lang din sa lahat, sino ba tinutugis? It was in the case of issuing a warrant of arrest to our beloved pastor, which we have known, naging buhay na namin for almost 40 years. Kaya yan ang masakit. Kasi alam namin yung katotohanan. Tapos, first of all, we know what the truth is. He is innocent. And Pastor Kibuloy has millions of followers, not only here in the Philippines, but the Kingdom of Jesus Christ, which is a homegrown ministry from Davao City, has reached not only the Philippines, but the whole world. And what is painful with that is it because he was just like falsely accused yet. Is it because he is also the spiritual advisor and the friend of so many, especially the former president, Rodrigo Roa Duterte? PACQ or Pastor Apollo C. Kibuloy is not yet convicted in any court here in the Philippines. Allegations yung lahat. And he has always said it. He is not evading the law. Palagi niyang sinasabi yan. He's not escaping from the law. He was just asking a preservation of his life. Haharapin niya ang alleged na mga accusation sa kanya na human trafficking, rape, at ano pa man na lahat na inaakusan ninyo, which is alam namin na hindi totoo, pero sige na lang. Pero haharapin ni Pastor yan, basta nasa tamang korte. At guaranteed siya na safe ang buhay niya. Hindi siya nag-i-evade ng law, ulitin ko lang po. He's not evading the law because he has always taught us to abide by the law. And so, kailangan lang niya ng self-preservation, kailangan niya i-save yung buhay niya. Huwag lang makialam ang Amerika. Kasi, yung information nga nakakarating sa amin, hindi sila mag-extradition, but extraordinary rendition. Sinabi niya ni Pastor, huwag lang makialam ang Amerika. I-secure nyo lang yung seguridad ni Pastor. Haharapin niya lahat ng accusations niya sa korte. So, ganito ang nangyari. Ilang beses sila nag-search, nagbigay ng warrant of arrest para sa innocenteng tao at hindi pa convicted. Hindi siya fugitive kasi hindi siya nag-escape sa law. Sorry. Huwag yung tatawagang fugitive yung hindi nag-escape sa law. At pastor siya. Pastor namin siya. Buong buhay namin binigay na namin kay Pastor kasi alam namin yung sinusundod namin. And that June 10, I was there. We were there. And never have we felt so brutalized and terrorized on that day. Hindi kami sanay. Kasi we have lived peacefully. Lahat ng turo ni Pastor, pagmamahal, pagsusunod sa batas. Tapos, to our horror, we were about to pray. I was looking at my watch, it's 3:50. The silence of that morning was broken by the siren because that is our only way to inform everyone that we were already under attack. You say we are armed and dangerous. You have your body cams with you. The camera will not lie. The CCTV will not lie. We were there because we were about to pray for our devotional dawning prayer. And that is when all of a sudden, I just heard all this, the female workers running around. We have to protect our compound. We have to protect our property. It is our home. That is our inheritance given to us by the Almighty Father. And we worked on that by the blood, sweat, and tears of all the kingdom citizens. Yun lang ang pamamahay namin. Yun lang ang lugar namin. Kaya pinoproteksyon namin. Binigay yan sa amin ng ating Panginoon Diyos. Pinangunahan ng aming mahal na pastor. Why we are protecting that? Because yun ang iniwan ni Pastor sa amin. And we vowed to protect it no matter what. So yun yung nangyari. So tanong natin, excessive ba yung lulusob ka sa banal na dako na kung walang ginagawa kundi manalangin, magpuri sa Ama, magsisimba, at wala ibang tinuturo kundi pagmamahal sa kapwa, pagsusunod sa batas, at pagmamahal sa Diyos. Excessive ba yung... For the first time in my life, I saw all those PNP personnel who were ready geared for war with all their ammunitions, yung mga baril nila napakalaki. I did not know what to do, but the children, the women, the mga workers kasama namin sa gate. Later on, Carlo will also relate what happened that day. It only not resulted in a pain so deep that even until now, the pain is there. Hindi man namin sadyain. Alam ko trauma is matagal mag-heal. It's not only pain. trauma, but it also resulted and caused the death of 2 of our members from the Balaan tribes in Kitbog. You also
May namatay?
Opo, dalawa.
Bakit? Anong nangyari?
Because of the trade, na-trauma sila, sir, kasi mga Bilaan, for the longest time, napaka-peaceful na po nung sa Sarangani province. E nung madaling araw, sinugod yung bahay nila, mga bahay nila, at pinilit silang palabasin. Yung una, pinagsisipa yung mga door. Madaling araw, sir, halos mga pawid lang yung bahay nila. Tapos, yung yung matanda, may sakit na siya. Kaya medyo nasa labas na lang siya ng bahay. Pinilit talaga siyang palabasin. Labas kayo. Matanda na, sir, kasi may sakit nga. Pinalabas. Bedridden siya. Pinalabas talaga. Pinilit nila lahat, pati yung matatanda. Pinilit nilang palabasin sa bahay. Sir, hindi po yun sa compound. Nasa community po yun. Mga Bilaan yun. Ancestral domain yun. Malapit yung tinutulungan ni Pastor yun.
Right there and then, during that activity,
The
namatay?
next day.
The next day.
Ipalabas kasi siya ng madaling araw.
Yung dalawa?
Isa muna. Ganito,
Isa.
sir. Yung tatay, ng bedridden na may sakit, pinilit palabasin, nagpamakaawa. Ginising nila ng mga baril na lalaki talaga ng mga arms nila. Pinilit nila lumabas. Yung iba, sabi nila, ang ginaw-ginaw, madaling araw na sa bundok. Pinilit nila. Yung the day after that, hindi na siya kumain. Ayaw na niya. Tapos palagi niya, ang iniisip niya, baka kunin nila si Pastor. Kasi member na po sila. Naunawaan po nila yung mensahe ni Pastor. Yun yung takla. Baka makuha nila si Pastor. Walang warrant of arrest. Picture lang ang pinakita. 8. Picture. Kilala niyo ba to? Ganun po nangyari doon sa Kitbog. Tapos, yung asawa niya, the following din, matay yung father. That day din, yung asawa ni William, tinitimpla pa niya ng kape yung mga sundalo. Nanginginig na siya. After a few days, na-stroke. Hindi na si Brother William nakapag-living sa father niya kasi na-stroke yung asawa niya. Tinulungan namin din nila sa hospital. Diling naglaon. Sir, namatay din. So, 2 yung namatay doon sa pamilya na yun. Tinulungan namin hanggang ngayon. Tapos yung may bata doon. Kasi, naano siya, siguro hindi lang talaga kaya i-process ng utak niya. Parang natuliro. Naloko, pag may makikita siyang drone, binabato niya. Pag may makikita silang naka-uniform, natatakot sila. Kahit even, sir, nasira yung bait. Hindi talaga, hanggang ngayon, pinapagamot namin. Hanggang ngayon, namin. Tapos yung sa Glory Mountain naman, may mga footages naman, sir. Yung sinabi nila na nakipaglaban dahil may bolos. Natural, kasi bundok yun. Glory Mountain yun. After ng prayer, nagpa-farm sila, nag-garden sila. So, dala-dala nila yung pang-farm. Bigla na, ang sinabi nila, ibababa kasi papamedico legal, yung 6 with minors pa. Pero pagdating doon sa Kalinan Police Station, nagtaka na lang yung guardian, pinasuot na sila ng orange. Kinunan sila ng mugshot. Sir, mga innocent yun kasi mga ano din yun, nasa tribo din yun. Tutulungan lang ni Pastor doon sa bundok. Ganun po. Hindi man lang binasahan ng Miranda rights or what. Ganun lang.
Ilan yun? Ilan?
6 po.
6?
Opo. Marami pa, 6 lang lahat.
Kinasuhan sila?
Opo. Pinasuot ng orange.
Nasaan sila ngayon?
Nandun pa rin po sa Glory Mountain, pero nandito po yung witness. Kasama po namin.
Nakapag nag-post sila ng bail? Paano sila nirelease?
Ordinary filing lang po yun. Tapos nirelease din lang po sila, sir, nung hapon.
Okay. Anong kaso nila, attorney? Anong kinaso?
Obstruction of justice daw.
Obstruction of justice ang final nila. ng
Kasi?
PNP. Kasi
Talaga nag-obstruct sila na hindi makapasok ang polis? Ganun ginawa nila?
allegedly po, yun ang allegation ng Philippine National Police. Actually, 8 po yung dinala. And then, nung na-realize nila na minors pala yung 2, pinakawalan. And then later, pagdating dun sa police station, pinaila na sila ng kaso po. Sila pala lahat, yung 8 pinaila ng kaso ultimately.
Anyway, at least regular filing, hindi in-inquest.
In fairness, regular filing.
Regular filing. Thank you. Please continue, ma'am.
Okay, so more or less that's what happened last June 10. And hindi lang kasi kung excessive yung pinag-uusapan, hindi lang naman kasi galing sa Region 10 yung lumusob. 10, 11, 12, 13. So, I think yun nga, sinabi na pinagplanuhan, pinag-isipan. Yung nangyari doon ng June 10. Kaya, hinihiling lang po namin sa mga honorable natin na mga malaki po yung respeto natin sa mga police. Men in uniform. Also, so much high regard for the men in uniform. We have supported the military and the police ever since. Hinihiling lang namin ang patas na pagdinig at ang maliwanag na dinig ng katotohanan at katuwiran po ang mananay. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, ma'am. Attorney Torion, you have the floor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ladies and gentlemen of this August Committee, to the Honorable Chair,
Lobat.
Senator Ronald Bato de la
Lobat
Rosa,
na ako, lobat.
Senator Robin Hood Padilla,
Opo, yes sir.
Senator